Welcome back. That's it. I don't really need to say anything else. Today, I'm going to be showing a formation for AI. And what I mean by that is very simple. When you get your events that you can't be asked to play, your AI matches, this formation tends to work on legendary difficulty with the AI controlling them with this format. And it wins consistently. I don't think, as a disclaimer, it's very much random what can happen. But when I do win, I usually win by a more considerable amount now with this formation than what I used to. It used to be a 1-0 win, a 2-1 win, maybe even a 3-1 win. But I've seen 4-5 goals fly in this game with this formation. And as you can obviously see, here it is. A 2-1-5-2. Very, very abstract. Very different. I will switch this up a little bit. You will watch me build the team. And then I will explain the reasons for the build, these specific players in these specific positions. Simple enough. Where can we go? We could use a bit of you. Flip you over. Nice and easy. Nice and easy. Multiple players on this bench I have zero interest in. We will pop Solanke there. On the fucking bench. I like Alvarez. I was going to expand on that. And then I didn't. So now it just sounds like I'm just autistically commenting on something for no reason. So, yeah. Take that how you want it. We'll have him on the bench. Lovely. Done. Simple as that. Okay. First things first. Play styles. Obviously, again, long ball counter is the most OP one. There's no argument with that. I'm using this just to get my 100 games in everything. Will I get there? Probably not, because 500 games. Then again, I've done probably about 80 in the space of like a month or two. I just let the go. Anyway, not the point. Individual instructions. So I don't actually have any other than counter target on any attackers that I have with track back as a skill, just to try and retain some of their stamina for the later games, because a lot of them either have low stamina or are constantly caught out in position. You know, they're not quick, or they don't have the correct stats to be able to track back, get the ball and run back up. So it's just the safest way to play. Goalkeeper. Just the team of the week goalkeeper. Nothing special. I do have recommendations of Manuel Neuer, Courtois, and ter Stegen. I am yet to use ter Stegen, however. But I will use him at some point. He will be, after a manager, he will be the following player. I don't think I'll buy a manager actually saying that out loud. I'm probably going to save up for Ten Hag. So if you are a free-to-play, because this is completely free-to-play, you can very simply save up your eFootball coins, do it soon, buy Ten Hag, and then thank me later, because you're getting a manager with a speed boost, which is already great, because let's be honest, every football game relies on speed. If you have a whole team with 99 sprint speed and 99 acceleration, you're going to be playing better than players who aren't. It's that simple. Anyway, goalkeeper recommendations. Haven't tried ter Stegen, but I would still recommend him because a lot of people say he's great. Defenders, Kunde and Timber, as you can see. I think the only obvious thing from them is pace. being a defender, especially only being 2 defenders, they have to cover a lot of ground, especially if you decide not to play with long ball counter, because they will find themselves in more awkward positions, and that's a bit, it's shady, but that's it. If you have any other defenders with good amount of speed, whack them on there. It's the safest and best option. Make sure they've got the correct player skill as well. You need your interceptions, you need your blocker, you need your man marking, need sliding tackle, acrobatic clearance. Honestly, I don't see many acrobatic clearances, but you'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. Fighting spirit and aerial superiority, again, necessary. Timber does actually miss one. I think he does miss aerial. He does miss aerial superiority. But I'm quite lucky because at the moment this meta isn't really people crossing. And if I do start coming into a lot of games that are crossing and Timber keeps fucking up, I'll then invest some skill points to get him the aerial superiority. It's really not. It's not that big a deal. Casemiro. You can probably guess why I have him. He's an anchor man. Allowing an anchor man in the central defensive midfield role just basically allows him to pull back. Allows him to make the 2 attack defenders into 3. On the defence, it's a great thing because more defence, more coverage. You've then got 2 central midfielders, well, 2 central midfielders who will also pull back. So you've got your 3 at the back, you've got your 2 players behind them, and then you've got your attackers who will also come back in this formation, so long as the game is balanced or on defensive. And Casemiro is recommended by loads of people as being just great. I honestly couldn't recommend this card, but it is only level 15. I still have more pace to give him, more defensive abilities to give him, more strength, more passing, more dribbling. There's still a lot that I can give him. And then if you have an upgraded version, most likely, because of his player skills alone, he's going to be an Unreal card. So I suppose if you get him free, or if you have a bunch of GP sitting around and you want a good anchor man, try him out. Some people love him, some people don't. I'm just one of the people that I'm on the fence about him at the moment. Bruno Fernandes, I'll get this one out of the way quickly. It's a Team of the Week card. That's the only reason I'm using him. I can't think at the moment of another player to use alongside him besides Halloween Lima. And again, he's not... He's good. But he's no Kante. And this is the issue that I find in my head. Kante is the greatest midfielder to ever grace this game. I've said it. He is unreal. He is fast. In the midfield. Fast enough. His defensive capabilities, you can see. Unreal. And again, this is without any +2 manager boosts. So you +2 to everything. He's got above 80 acceleration and speed. 97 defensive engagement, over 95 aggression, 94 tackling, 92 defensive awareness, and then he's got great balance, great stamina on top of that, good ball control, good tight possession, good passing on all accounts. He's the perfect defensive mid who is a box-to-box. Perfect. If you ever need a player who is a box-to-box who you want to just have to sit back a little bit more, it'll be Kante 100,000,000% of the time. Never anyone else. That's it. There's no excuse for you to not have him on your pitch, for you to not have him on your bench. There isn't an excuse. Unless you're a batty pay-to-win player, you've been playing for years, and you've got yourself Patrick Vieira. Do you know what I mean? Some major players. But even then, he still deserves a spot on the bench. He's just that good. Jude Bellingham. I think he's great. I can't really, again, there's no real argument against that. He's just great. He's fast. He can dribble. He can pass. He can shoot. He's got very high weak foot accuracy, which is great. So he can pass on either foot. He can shoot on either foot. Unwavering form. So he's consistent. outside curler and one-touch pass as a central midfielder, fantastic, because that allows him to pass in more awkward positions, pass quickly in more awkward positions, and pass quickly, period. And that's what you need as your central midfielder who's going to be running up, doing them 1-2 plays, taking them through balls, and doing all of that sort of stuff, right? As you can see, his player skills, they miss a few passing abilities. Doesn't have no weighted pass, no through passing, none of that stuff. But outside curler aids him with his passing as well. So if you want to dedicate yourself to Jude, get him his skills, get him his weighted pass, low lofted pass. People recommend it. I don't use enough crossing or lofted passing to be able to recommend it. So it's dependent on what you do in game as your own player. Weighted pass, through passing, bare minimum really that you want to add to him if you like him as a player. Mbappe. Do I really need to say anything about him? Genuinely versatile, fast, can dribble, can shoot, can pass. You know, again, is he a great passer? Not really. Not really. Do I have any skill training? I have 4. We are just going to sit here and see if we can add a few more on him. We want one-touch pass. Acrobatic clearance is the worst thing for him. I've just given him a bunch of skills that he doesn't need. But anyway, we want to give him one-touch pass. That in itself is helpful, right? That in itself can give him a better position, especially whilst he's up the wing. Because I feel like one-touch passing doesn't break the game, but the one-touch passes, apart from that, or even if it's not a one-touch pass, Mbappe is shit at passing until he's doing one-touch passing with the skill. At that point, one-touch passing is simple. It's very simple, but it works then. And that way you don't have to push a bunch of points into his low passing ability. Then that can go more into pace, and more into dribbling, more into finishing, and, you know, so on and so forth. Fantastic player. 76 games, 55 goals and 16 assists. And that's, whilst he plays on the wing, he's played probably a shit ton of games on the wing. I couldn't even tell you. Probably half of them on the wing. At least 30, 40 games on the wing. But he's versatile as well. If I need to pull him back into left mid, which we do in this formation, it works. He can play in the midfield because he's got the pace, he's got the dribbling. If we need to 1-2 it, we can 1-2 it. We're quite lucky that we have 3 very good passers in the midfield who can transport the ball to him, running down the wing or doing whatever he wants to do. So there's a lot of good service around him. There's just no argument over Kylian Mbappe. You just have him on your team and that's it. Adama Traore is one of my standout players. He's genuinely one of my standout players. Now, his stats are very basic. It's bare. He's still got a few levels left as well. So there's still a little bit more room for improvement. What I find with him, ridiculous pace, right? And I mean ludicrous off the ball. And then once he gets the ball, as soon as he needs to run, he's gone. Like, I genuinely think he feels like the fastest player on the pitch. And it used to be Mbappe. Mbappe used to just glide, but he glides too. Again, he's not going to have amazing tight possession, so don't expect him to be dribbling close quarters without any sprint. You know what I mean? Just you've got to use him to his strengths. And he's good. He's very good. Player skills, weird things like aerial superiority. How useful is that in the midfield? Weirdly very useful, especially for a midfielder, like a wide midfielder or a defensive midfielder. The amount of times he wins the header for me in the midfield is just bizarre. We shouldn't. He's got player skills, so he's level 3 double touch, which is great, which is literally what you need. He'll cut in, he'll do skills, he can pass, he's got outside curler, so he can shoot, he can pass in more awkward positions. I genuinely will fill him out with skills. I will give him one touch pass and weighted pass, and then probably like an acrobatic finishing or a long range shooting or something like that, because I genuinely think he's worth the investment. But try him out. It says 4 matches as well. Another disclaimer: there is a tournament that allowed me to use him. I loved it so much I played the tournament multiple times. That's how fun he is to use. That's how fun he is to play. And he's so cheap. We are making a segue, but this is a free-to-play recommendations dream. Very simple. Clubs. English. He's from Fulham. Right at the very bottom. You just press that and then done. And then you just scroll down and find him. 32k. You're having a laugh. He's 32k. For someone who is slick on the ball, who has skills, who has strength and potential, you just can't say no to that sort of pace and skill. It opens up too many opportunities. It opens up too many chances. It gives you too much creativity, whether he's a sub, a starter. It gives you too much creativity. You just can't say no. You just can't. If you have someone who's equal to him in stats and you love the way they play, he's worth 30k. Just give him a go. Whack 20 levels on him. Give him 90 plus sprint, 95 plus sprint speed, 95 plus acceleration. You know, so he can hit that 90 balance, sort of, obviously with the +2. And then put the rest into dribbling. Get his dribbling up to 90, get his ball control up to 80. After that, passing and finishing. Genuinely finishing up to 70, because he's not going to be finishing often. Because of his pace, he's going to be finding himself in very good positions where he could finish in open goals or easier chances. You just want to give him that consistency to be able to do so. But again, that's what player skills can also do. He's great. Alvarez, he's a unique player because he's not just a pace whore up front. Although, you know, you see his levels, you can turn him into a pace whore up front. Sorry, I have a bit of a... As his player skills go, he's got multiple shooting player skills. Great. But then he's also got the one-touch pass and the through passing. And as someone who has multiple players that he can pass the ball to get the goals, to get the finishes, as you see, he gets more assists than he does goals. Because when you've got players around him who have pace, when you've got players around him who have strength and height, he's more of just an assister. But when he's in that position, he's got the skills and the abilities and the dribbling capabilities to be able to finish. And you can't ask for much more than that for a second striker class centre forward. Lukaku, haven't tried him yet. Probably shouldn't have had him on. Who do I normally use? And Kunku or Kolo Muani are the two that I use. I use him as a second striker in that position because simply he's fast, agile, and he's very good on the ball. And because he's very good on the ball, again, opens up opportunities for good finishes, for good passes. It's creativity again. Players like that create different chances, different opportunities in the match. Kolo Muani was to start with. He's normally my starter. But as you see with his lack of goals and his lack of assists, he's not that great. Also, these slightly fabricated, aren't they? Because of you're not with AI. You don't have control of who scores and who doesn't. So, technically, he might have a better ratio if I just played every game with him, but I haven't. Any other recommendations? Straight off the bat, I would say I have a sub-tactic of 5 at the back. So if I do choose to play this team myself, this is what I like to go for. The reason for this is I can move things around, move players around on the sub-tactics. I like to pull them back because, as you see, we essentially have 5 at the back. my instructions will be deep line and both the left midfielder and the right midfielder. So it will always be 5 at the back. But then when they're not as fullbacks, they'll be in the midfield. So they're very versatile. So again, if you have players that have pace with very good stamina, who you like playing on the out wides, it's a unique style to play offline. But this is what happens. You go 5 at the back when you're close to winning. Do you know what I mean? When you're close to winning, you go 5 at the back. That's all there is to it. We look at now. No interest in showing you manager because I don't have any good one. Counter target we've already explained. Going through everything. Yeah. With AI, I have attack defensive level off. I always like it to stay balanced because if it goes attacking, the defenders come up, the defensive midfielder comes up, and it's pretty much there's no one back, especially if you're not playing long ball counter. So just have it turned off. It's easier. The game will remain balanced. The defenders will stay back. The defensive midfielder will stay back. The midfielder will stay versatile. The attack will stay versatile. Change preset tactics. They don't do it too much. But I do have it on. And I do have it set as a 5 at the back formation. Just because, again, it's the easiest thing. When it comes down to subs, you don't really get subs. When you're doing AI, you don't get subs. If you can get a couple, have Tau. You know, having yourself, again, he's a striker, but he's also a winger. So you can play him anywhere. You know what I mean? You can play him. He's versatile. You can push Adama Traore up to wing. And then just put Tau there instead. And it's only one click. It's not that simple. It's really not. Lukaku struggles, or one of your strikers struggle. You've got a striker you can put on. And he will always outperform. He's very, very surprising. I don't think you'll be disappointed, genuinely. That is everything. Because you won't be using this for online, so I don't need to tell you any specifics about online. That's it. You build the team, whack it on AI, and they will just play. And it's really that simple. I'm just looking if I can actually recommend you anything quickly before we go. As I said, there's not. I haven't really been playing it too much. Training programs. I have no interest in spending money on training programs. That's mental. These I'm saving because I'm hoping eventually they're going to bring out someone reasonable. Okay. That is everything then. I'm not going to lie, I am looking at this for my own sake. On the off chance that they have a gem here. Not really. Could be alright. I mean, it's alright. That was so cringe. Little loser. Anyway, I'm going to go slip my wrists. Have a good day. Bye-bye.